Hey everybody, this is Candace Yvette with Black Women Aware. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who comes by and supports my page. It really does mean a lot to me. If you all could please press the like or dislike button and subscribe, comment, or even email me if you have any suggestions, questions, or concerns. My email is always going to be in the description box. Again, thank you for visiting my channel. Hey guys, it's Candace Yvette with Black Women Aware. So I had to jump in real quick and give this message. First, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for visiting my page. Thank you for showing support and being concerned about the injustices that Black women and children face every day in the United States. I really do appreciate your support. You don't know how much that means to me, especially because I myself am a Black woman. I'd also like to put this quick disclaimer out there. Do not come to my page victim shaming or blaming. You will be immediately blocked for that. I do not tolerate it. There is no need for it. And I'm pretty sure you knew what you were saying in the comment before you posted it. So be respectful. Many of the victims, their families come back and they visit this page. I am their advocate. This is their safe space. No disrespect will be tolerated. You all have a good day. I'm going to let you go back into the commentary. Every 5.5 hours in the United States of America, a Black woman or child is murdered. Stop killing Black women. Stop killing Black children.
Little girl in there crying, and I peeked in the window again, and then I saw the second girl in there, and I was, trying to calm them down.
The two little girls neighbor Michael Eisenberg says he found inside a running BMW after Saturday's apparent murder-suicide on Edenbrook Drive in Columbia are, according to online court records, at the center of a contentious, years-long custody battle between the murder suspect, Ray J. Black, and the murder victim, his wife, Wendy Black.
I think a lot of things like this tend to happen when they're domestic for the most of the time, So I tend not to be too worried. It is very frightening.
Online records in Howard County Circuit Court show a hearing in the custody case slated for next month, and nearly 4 years of accusations lodged across dozens and dozens of filings. Mr. Black accusing his ex-wife of trying to hit him with her car and hiding her address and therefore the children. But dominating the custody case file, domestic violence charges filed against Ray J. Black by his ex-wife, Wendy, including her handwritten pleas to the court for protection. Quote, I am terrified because I do not know what he is capable of doing to me and the girls. I do not feel we are safe. I do not feel safe at all. I feel that my life is in danger. Those fears echoed in more formal filings by her attorneys over the years. Complaints that Ray J. Black has serious issues with anger management and violence, has a history of alcohol and drug abuse, has made threats to harm and kill Wendy Black, including killing her with a gun, and that he has easy access to weapons. He was also ordered by a judge recently to pay $5,000 in attorney's fees to his ex-wife, an attorney she had to hire when he refused to turn over necessary documentation, including his employment records, his tax filings, and proof and receipts that he had gone to a therapist. Reporting live from Ellicott City tonight, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
Wendy begged the court to protect her from a man who she called violent, unstable, and determined to kill her.
It's so peaceful, it's so free.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So on this video, I'm going to talk to you all about restraining orders, what they are, and why it's important for you to have one if you are a woman or man, because sometimes men end up in situations too where they need restraining orders that need a restraining order, right? So I'm making this video. What encouraged me or influenced me to make this video is I came across the story or the case about Raji Black, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, y'all. Forgive me. But when it first dropped, it was so stressful to me that I couldn't really go into it at the time. Plus, I was already dealing with and preparing for the passing of my grandmother, who at that time when the story first dropped had just got accepted by hospice. My grandmother passed away a week ago. Not really grieving anymore since she passed on, because she was suffering with Alzheimer's. So it was more like a good thing, a homegoing rather than a funeral. But anyways, when this story first dropped, I could not really cover it because, one, when I seen that live video, y'all have to understand, I pick up on people's energies very, very well. And it's part of the reason why I don't really like being around too many people, or I don't even accept jobs where I have to deal with people like a lot. You know what I'm saying? I can't really do it. It messes with my energy. I don't know how else to explain that to y'all. I've been this way for a very long time. And the only reason why I'm mentioning this is when I watched that live video of this man admitting to murdering, I believe he murdered the pregnant ex-girlfriend first and then went over to his ex-wife's house to do her next, I believe. But if I'm wrong, y'all feel free to correct me in the comments. That's okay. And then he went ahead and committed suicide, right? So we were discussing that case on this post, and the first thing that I noticed after I watched that live was his energy was so dark. It was so crippling. I had to turn it off. You know what I mean? I had to turn it off. I couldn't even watch it past that live because, like I continue to tell y'all, you have to separate. When I on my channel and I'm talking about demonic spirits and stuff like that, you have to separate what you see in movies and in mainstream media and start to become aware of people's energy in real life. Because this man, I'm not even gonna lie, Raji Black was not a bad looking man. He wasn't bad looking. He looked like the type of guy that, like the teddy bear type, the type that would protect you, and a gentleman type. This is what he looked like with me just perceiving him with my physical eye, right? So he looked like that type of guy. I wasn't shocked by the profession he was in because he looks like the type of guy who had a good professional career, right? He looked like that. But when he began talking, and again, just like the last video that I did covering little Kamari Holland's death, when I looked at her mother and when I looked at this guy, Raji Black, there's that darkness, that deep-seated darkness, and I could not really watch it for that long. I couldn't. I had to turn it out. Because those energies, even through the phone or TVs, you can still pick up on people's energies. It's very, very deep. I ain't finna get into all of that. But that was one thing when the story first dropped, why I really didn't go over it like that. This is why I be on myself about stopping myself from being really lukewarm, because I do have that gift to where I can pick up energies. I do have that gift to where I know, I'm well aware of when, it's a demonic presence, and I have to stop being lukewarm and stuff, because it's not right to my victims that I'm lukewarm. How, you guys are probably asking? Because of that man's energy, it affected me so bad I didn't cover that story on this page. And Wendy Black and the other young lady that were murdered by this man, I should have covered that story to bring forth awareness, right? Wendy Black, I believe, was the wife, and she was Black or of African descent, right? And my channel, even though my heart and my condolences go out to both the women, this channel is dedicated to making Black women aware. Now that we got that out the way, I am making this video and we are going to go over restraining orders, what they are, how to get them, why it is important that you do obtain them. All right. And the myths about them and why you need to get the facts. Right. So the website I'm going to use today is called womenslaw.org. Okay, womenslaw.org, and I will be putting their link in the description box. Now, what I like about this website is it has a link that you can click on, and it'll go through all 50 states and what they require for how you can obtain a restraining order, right? So no matter where you are in the USA, they can tell you the steps you need to take for your state to obtain a restraining order. Now, this tab that I'm under right now is called Basic Info About Restraining Orders. I'm going to read that to y'all. I'm going to share my own experience going through this process, and I'm going to debunk the myth, because there is a myth out there saying restraining orders are nothing but a piece of paper. They're not good for anything, and I'm gonna tell you why you should not go along with that myth. So let's get to what it says in this article here. So it says the basic info about restraining orders. In general, domestic violence restraining orders laws establish who can file for an order of protection, because those terms, y'all, they use them interchangeably. So you have some people who call them restraining orders, or you have some people who call them protection, an order of protection. They're the same thing, right? So it says who can file for a restraining order, what protection or relief a person can get from such an order, and how the order will be enforced. Okay, and that's very important to know how the order will be enforced, because some orders, like if you have children with your abuser, some orders are limited. So that person can't be around you unless there's a pass off of the children. Like you know, they get visitation and all that stuff like that. So it can get really complicated. It's very important that you pay attention to the details of it. So I'm going to continue on. While there are differences from state to state, all protective order statuses allow the judge, not the police officer, not the person's lawyer, not anybody but the judge, to order one or more of the following provisions. Number 1, cease abuse. Order the abuser to stop hurting or threatening you. 2, stay away. The majority of states' orders can instruct the abuser to stay away from you, your home, your workplace, or your school. 3, no contact. To prohibit all contact, whether by telephone, text messages, notes, mail, fax, email, through a third person, or delivery of flowers or gifts. That's the best thing to have. But let me continue on. Support. Order the abusers to pay you temporary child support or continue to make mortgage payments on a home owned by the both of you. See, we all learning something new, because I didn't know that. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so let me continue on. Number 5, exclusive use. To award you sole use of the house or car owned by the both of you. So that will go along with people who are either married or in common law marriages, and both of their names is on a lease or on a deed to a house and stuff like that. Restitution is number 6. To pay you for medical costs or property damage caused by the abuser. Okay, so whatever because a lot of times, in the situations where you're in a domestic violence situation, they will start to destroy the property before they destroy you. So that's another thing I didn't know about restraining orders. So this one right here, number 6, is important, and number 4 is important because it is talking about finances and how you can get repaid for any damages or support or anything, right? So I hope you all are writing these down as I'm going through them. Okay. Number 7, relinquish firearms. Some courts might be able to order the abuser to turn over any guns, rifle, and ammunition she or he may have. Now, that one I was aware of, with all the different cases and things that I read about, Treatment is number 8. To attend a batterers treatment program, appear for regular drug tests, or start alcohol or drug abuse counseling. That one I also was aware of. Some of these orders will require these people to go to counseling. And that's what a lot of people are looking over with the Rajay Black case. Rajay Black was ordered to go to fucking counseling. And y'all gotta excuse me because y'all know over here, Candace Yvette, when she gets passionate, she will cuss. Yes, I'm talking about myself in the third person. But it fires me up that so many people are defending this man when he has steps he could have took before doing this. Oh, well, Candace, they were using the kids against him, and you know what? No. We ain't going into all that because that's why they have special lawyers, child case lawyers or custody lawyers. You could have did a lot of things or whatever. And the fact that not just one of these women are saying this, but both of them are saying this or saying that you are violent, had to take orders of protection, had to do all these things to protect themselves from you. Something was seriously wrong with him. And the fact that he didn't take up the things that were offered to him, through the restraining order, the treatment, you know what I'm saying? Because he could have fought them on the custody battle through getting treatment for his own problems. How? Because he could have went in front of that judge and said, you know what? I've been going to therapy. I've been getting myself together. I've been not only going through therapy, but exercising the things that the therapist or the psychiatrist has been telling me to do. That the judge would have been like, okay, you at least are adhering or following the rules of the restraining order. He could have had a little bit more leverage with that. But for him to just do this, it further proves what I said when I was watching his video. He was a walking motherfucking demon, and he won't get shown any mercy over here. Number 9, custody, visitation, and child support. As I was stating earlier, many jurisdictions also allow the court to make decisions about the care and safety of your children as part of your restraining order. Courts can order the abuser to either stay away from and have no contact with your children's doctors, daycare, schools, or after school program, and many courts can make temporary custody visitation decisions, as I've said. Some can even issue child support orders within the restraining order. You can also ask the court to order supervised visitation or specify a safe arrangement for transferring the children back and forth between you and the abuser. Okay? So it's certain things that go along with restraining order. In my case, in my personal experience, I didn't, because a lot of times when you go to court, I'm not going to say a lot, maybe most is the better word, or 100% of the time rather. When you go to court, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff. So the one thing that, now that I'm reading this years later after I escaped my domestic violence situation, I wish that I would have had proof of all the property destruction, all the times that my cars, I would wake up at 2 and 3 in the morning and my cars were totaled out because this person had stolen my keys and got behind the wheel drunk. You know what I mean? That was a big issue in our relationship, with him stealing my cars, knowing I did not want him driving my vehicles because he had an alcohol problem, right? So really, really wish I would have known that, because now today I understand that I missed out on filing and suing for thousands and thousands of dollars, right? So let's just keep going. When an abuser violates a restraining order. When the abuser does something that the court has ordered him or her not to do, or fails to do something that the court has ordered him or her to do, like Rajay Black, she or he may have violated the order. In many states, the victim can ask the police or court, or both, depending on the violation, to enforce the order. When a victim contacts the police report a restraining order violation, usually the police will listen to the victim and look at any evidence she or he has. Me personally, I say go further than that, especially if you're a black woman. I know a lot of these BWE content creators like to push, oh, well, we're safer, with police because police protect black women more than our own men. That is true. But you do have the cases where some of these cops don't give a fuck. Okay, and you listening to somebody who's lived it. Okay, some of these cops don't give a fuck. When it's best whenever somebody has violated that restraining order, get your ass in front of a judge. Okay, somebody with a little bit more power. So the police is not the judge, the jury, or the executioner. They can't do shit. They probably can go on and arrest that person, but it's like a 50-50 with the police, all right? Okay, especially when it comes to black women. So let me continue on. Okay. When a victim contacts the police to report a restraining order violation, usually the police will listen to the victim. Y'all heard what they said, usually. So that confirms my 50-50 chance. Don't take no chances on their asses. Usually the police will listen to the victim and look at the evidence she or he has. If they feel the order has been violated, the police may arrest the abuser, or they could take another action. The police can generally enforce the stay away, no contact, cease abuse, exclusive use, or possibly custody provisions, those that need immediate response. If you are unable to call them when the violation occurs, they should take a report if you call them soon afterwards. In some cases, it might result in a misdemeanor or felony criminal conviction and punishment. In states that allow it, these types of violations can also later be addressed by civil court, and it is often a good idea to bring them to the court's attention. Other violations are not easily enforced by the police, such as failure to pay child support, attend treatment programs. Those are better enforced by the court, which is why I'm telling y'all, bypass the motherfucking police and go straight to that judge. If you file a motion for contempt in the court that issued the order explaining how the abuser has violated the order, the court will hold a hearing to determine if the facts prove that the abuser violated the order. In some places, the petition may need to be filed by the prosecutor. If the court finds a violation did occur, the judge will determine a penalty. Depending upon the laws of your jurisdiction and the nature of the violation, the penalty might be a finding of contempt, which could result in a fine, jail time, or both. The violation might also be a reason for the order to be extended or modified in some way. The difference between civil contempt and criminal contempt. When a person violates a protection order, she or he might be held in civil contempt or criminal contempt. There are different standards and possible outcomes for each. Civil contempt is when a person is facing civil contempt, usually means that the judge will issue another court order that tries to make the person follow the original protection of order. Oftentimes, the judge will include a punishment or sanctions or other provisions that do not include imprisonment. For example, a judge might take away a person's license, change provisions of the protection order so that they are more restrictive, or threaten to escalate the case to a criminal court. If that order is not followed, it is easier to prove civil contempt than it is to prove criminal contempt, obviously, because both the standard of proof in civil cases is usually preponderance of the evidence or opposed to beyond a reasonable doubt. Preponderance of the evidence means the judge has to think it is more likely than not that a violation occurred. Okay, criminal contempt is when a person is facing criminal contempt, she or he faces the possibility of more serious fines and even imprisonment as penalties if a judge finds that he or she has violated the order. Usually for a judge to order a jail or prison sentence, the abuser will have had all of the rights associated with a criminal charge, such as the right to a jury trial. If abuser would be facing substantial jail time, a lawyer could be appointed as well. Also, the standard of proof for criminal contempt is beyond a reasonable doubt, which means the judge or jury has to think that it is practically certain, based on the evidence, that the abuser violated the order. Okay, and that's the end of that. And let me give you all my thoughts on why you should still go through. If you're recently escaped a domestic violence situation, why it is important that you get a restraining order. So as I was reading the Raji Black case, reading up on that, and I was debating back and forth with some of these people who are trying to push it on women who have escaped these domestic violence relationships. They're trying to push it. Oh, don't waste your time getting a restraining order. Let me tell you why you need a restraining order, especially if you are starting to uphold your Second Amendment. And one thing that influenced you to uphold your Second Amendment was you escaping this. If you're anything like me and you have done everything to make it obvious to this person that, number one, you don't want to be in a relationship with them, you just want to be left alone, they continue to stalk you, follow you, not only on social media, but in real life, they're popping up at your jobs. My situation, like I have continued to tell y'all, I had to escape. I had just a slither of time to get out of that man's apartment, get me and my children up out of there before he returned back home. My story is on this channel. It's under my Insomnia Nights series. And that series, I'm probably going to continue on doing it. But I'll probably add different content to it or whatever. But it's under that series, and I was up and I was basically explaining how I got out of that situation and how God helped me out of that situation, right? But if you're like me and you decided, hey, I'm tired of running, I should not have to keep running. Running is expensive, it's stressful on the kids, it's stressful on me. I'm going to uphold my Second Amendment, and I'm going to defend myself in the case that this person finds me and tries to attack me. Okay, if you're one of those, you know, took the self-defense classes, you learned all about guns and different types, and you know how to handle a gun, you know which eye and hand is dominant, you understand the different things with guns and all, or whatever. If you're at that point, then you need to obtain a restraining order. The order possibly cannot do anything for you physically, because it is very true. After you get an order of protection, you probably still will get stalked. You probably still will get harassed, you know, because some of these fools are so crazy, they could care less about doing time in jail or paying fines. Half of them so fucking broke, they can't pay that shit no way. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it greasy, you know. Half of them, they probably got more friends on the inside than the outside, so jail probably don't scare them, right? But if you're in the situation, right, and you're like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm scared. Every time this person come around me, they're not only doing property destruction, but they're hurting me and they're hurting the children. And you went out and got your CCW, okay, because I do have a friend who, like I said, I have to get around to sharing her story, who had to take she had to make the ultimate decision, and she had to come down to, it's either him or me, right? It's either him or me, and goddamn it, I ain't ready for it to be me. Goddamn it, I'm not ready to be a face on Black Femicide's timeline. You know what I mean? I'm not ready. I'm going to live and not die. And if he ever approached me again, he gonna go to meet his maker. If you are one of those women, you need to get an order of protection, because even if you just going in and you saying, God damn it, I can prove self-defense. Self-defense alone is very, very hard to prove, right? It is very hard to prove. Now, y'all want to know how hard it is to prove self-defense? Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all probably pissed off at this part. Oh, Candace, why you mention Kyle Rittenhouse? I'm mentioning Kyle Rittenhouse for a few reasons. I'm mentioning Kyle Rittenhouse because Kyle Rittenhouse, look at his demographic. He's white and he's male. That is the demographic that has the most privilege in the USA. You know what I'm saying? It's people convinced that it's people that even have evidence that Kyle was like, you know, he wasn't too right before. Like, he was going around abusing people and threatening people before. But that's not what we focusing on. We focusing on the fact that look at his demographic. One, he's white and male. And look how hard this motherfucker had to fight to win that self-defense case. Even with all the privilege he had. He still had to go to trial. He was still locked up. So when you compare all of that shit that he went through to what you may go through as a black woman, you understand what I'm saying? You're going to come out hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying, proving self-defense. One thing that could give your case a big oomph or a big push is when the jury and judge get in front of your case and you done unalive this motherfucker, you done sent them to meet his maker. One thing to make the jury lean more in your favor is having that piece of paper. Okay, that piece of paper is like Hansel and Gretel, baby. It's your breadcrumb. Hey, judge, I did everything I could to get away from this person. And not only did I get away from him, but I went to the proper authorities before I took matters into my own hands. And I have it because you don't just get no restraining order. The police can't grant you the restraining order. Special victim advocates can't grant you a restraining order. The judge, the same motherfucker who can order the police to bust in your door with his signature. When he signed on to a search warrant, the police can bust up in your shit. They don't need your right if a judge's signature is very powerful. So you have an elected official signing off on your restraining order, an elected official who agreed with you and said, yes, you have proof. You've brought the burden of proof before the court, and I'm going to sign off on this restraining order. I'm going to bless you with this restraining order. And so, goddamn it, if he come near you or whatever, yes, call us so we can get him locked up or whatever. But that piece of paper is powerful, because if something is to happen and you get in a situation like my friend did, where she had to defend herself and take the ultimate make the ultimate decision and send this man to meet his maker, my friend got off, even though she still did some time. This is another black woman I'm talking about. She still had to sit the fuck down. Just proving self-defense, she still had to sit down. We was convinced we wasn't going to see her for decades. Okay? So you have the self-defense. You have proof that you defended yourself. Plus, with a restraining order, it's a good chance that you walking out of this clean and smooth with nothing on your record. This is why you get a restraining order. Okay, as far as physically protecting yourself, this is why you get your Second Amendment, your CCW. You do everything, and it's not easy. I'm not gonna put it in y'all minds that it's easy or whatever to go through this process, especially when leaving domestic violence relationships is one of the most dangerous, or is the dangerous time for women to leave, or even men, even though their cases are far rare and in between. When it comes to women, because women are the majority victims, no matter what it is, women are the majority in being victims. It is that is the most dangerous time when you try to escape that relationship. That is the most dangerous time. You know what I'm saying? You always got to sleep with a motherfucking eye open. You can't trust nobody because you don't know who's running your business back. And while you thinking it's your best friend, you might turn around and it's your mama talking to the family and shit, and she still probably calling this motherfucker her son or whatever. Yeah, you have to completely seclude yourself. It's almost like being born again, living on the run as a domestic violence person. Okay, it is not easy. I'm not telling y'all it's easy. I'm saying, though, if you get yourself out of that situation, one, congratulations to you, because it ain't easy. Two, take all the necessary precautions. Because if you get it in your mind that I'm going to listen to these other people on Facebook, YouTube, wherever the fuck they at, and I'm going to go get my Second Amendment, and I can just prove self-defense, one, you're a motherfucking fool, especially if you do that shit without a restraining order. Restraining order is for the courts. It's documented, it's proven. Not only will this person go to jail and have felonies on their record, you know what I'm saying, possibly lose custody or the rights over their children, but goddamn it, if you're the person, if you're the defendant in the case, a lot of times we don't think about that as women. We think about, oh, this order of protection won't protect us because he's still coming around and all. It can protect your ass if you're trying to be like these women on Snap. Oh, yes, it can protect you. Okay? That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to get off of here. Y'all be safe, be alert, be aware.
This is the horrible Facebook Live video that went viral of Virgil Black right after he shot his ex-girlfriend in the head, confessing to the crime.
Anyway, I just did something crazy, man. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head, yo. Felt like a dream.
But it gets worse because caught on camera in this same video is Virgil standing outside the home of his ex-wife before he chases her inside of her home to unalive her.
Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here.
Now, shortly after this, Virgil took his own life. But it's crazy that we live in a time where people literally live stream their crimes, especially crimes as horrific as these.
Hold up before y'all go. So first I want to say thank y'all for watching the video about restraining orders. I hope y'all learned something and you further understand that a restraining order, like a marriage certificate or license, is more than just a piece of paper. And if you ever have to make that ultimate decision and you get it just boils down to either you or the other person, then now you understand why you still should pursue and obtain a restraining order. Okay? Do not give up something that could help you. Okay? I can see if it hindered you more than it helped you, because like I hear a lot of people say about restraining orders, oh, it's going to trigger the other party or whatever. And they could come after you because once you get that restraining order, they going to know for real that you're not playing. And in the case of black women, black men don't like when you go to the white man on them and you tell on them. That's true. But let me reveal something else to y'all. Okay, because there's many national domestic violence institutions that have already proven, and that I have said already on this page, the minute you decide to make up your mind to leave an abusive relationship with a man and you follow through with your mind and you get ready to leave, you're already in danger, hon. You're already in danger. Stats have proven that is the most dangerous time of that relationship is when it is ending. So if you're already in danger and this person is already triggered because you left them, I'm pretty sure that if you go get that restraining order, it's not going to change a goddamn thing. Okay, they going to come after me if I get the restraining order. Baby, they was going to come after you any motherfucking way. That's just me being real with y'all. And y'all know on this channel, I have to be brutally honest with y'all. I cannot spare y'all feelings over here because this is life and death. So I have to put a little bit of pressure on y'all and get this really deep down inside of y'all and let y'all understand that a restraining order can help you, especially if you're like my friend back home in the Midwest who had to make that ultimate decision, and she had to send her ex-lover to meet his motherfucking maker. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in that position, do not turn away something that can help you. Also, the reason why I added that last video is because I wanted y'all to see something, because I understand when, in this case of Raji Black, a lot of people are saying, oh, he was just a good father and the women were using the kids against him and all, and yada, yada, whoopty woo. Now, I guess some women do manipulate the court system. Some, not all. The majority of the time, what I find is most of the time when these women pursue child support or custody or whatever, most of the time they not lying on these men. Let's just be real. Let's get it out there. I'm not going to coddle any grown man over here on Black Women Aware, a channel that was made not even for men. I'm not coddling no man, honey. No. You want a titty, go to your mammy. You won't find it over here. Anyways, what I learned by watching that Facebook Live of this man and him admitting to murdering his pregnant ex-girlfriend, and going on over his ex-wife's house to murder her as well. One thing that I learned watching that is it was never about the children. It was never about custody. It was about control. Did y'all hear what the news anchor said in the video that I showed you at the beginning of this video? She said that Raji refused to go get therapy services. He refused to turn in his wages. Y'all know what that tell me? And then you turn your dumb ass around and you go murder these two women. One of them pregnant with your child. The other one has your children present during the time of her death. So that tells me you didn't give a fuck about these kids. Because one, why would you put them through this trauma? Two, you were mad because you couldn't control the motherfucking narrative. You didn't want to cooperate with what the judge told you to do. And the minute that somebody gave you a set of rules and told you how shit was gonna rock and roll, you got mad and you decided to control the situation in a different and more brutal, fatal manner. That's what the fuck is happening. And he gets no mercy over here from Black Women Aware. I want to say something extra about him, but I'm going to spare him, especially because this is social media and it's not my own personal platform. But I hope he's not, y'all, I'm mad about that, honey. You went over there and then you videotaped yourself. He did that to, y'all know what narcissists do. He did that to garner sympathy for himself. I can't feel sorry for no motherfucker who do some shit like that. You killed both these women because you couldn't control the narrative and you didn't want to get the help that you needed to further help you gain custody or even joint custody of those kids. He didn't need no motherfucking custody. You know what I'm saying? And yes, y'all, if you're asking if I'm mad about it, I am mad because I have dealt with a person like this. I have been in a domestic violence situation like this. So when I read and I go over these cases, yes, they trigger me. You know, the one thing that I dealt with my case was my ex, his mother spoiled him. She coddled him. And the one thing that I don't do on Black Women Aware, I do not like beating down other Black women. I don't give a fuck if you have sons, if you're a mammy, if you're a pick-me. I don't like categorizing Black women and beating Black women down because, as I have said before, when your picture hits my page or when it comes across me, all I see is a Black woman who needs some advocacy. I don't see a mammy. I don't see a divester and all these little terms and all. I just see a Black woman, all right? But one thing I noticed, some Black women with some sons do, not all of them, but some coddle their sons. And in my situation, my ex, his mother coddled him and was trying to make up for lost time with a 30-some-odd-year-old man because she decided to go off and do hard drugs and not raise him and left him to his older siblings to raise. Okay? And so now I'm dealing with a highly over-emotional mental case on my hands who want me to kiss his ass like his mama do. And I wasn't going to do it. You okay? I was not going to do it. And so we always had problems. And who would he always run to? His mother. And when that got to be a pattern and it just kept happening, that's when I decided, okay, I'm not going through this. I cannot do it. Okay? And I see that I don't see from this video that Raji has been coddled, but I see that people were not kissing his ass and people were holding him to task. And anytime you hold any one of these men to task and you're asking for them to be accountable for their actions or be responsible or have integrity, anything that has to do with having good character and morals and all, they get angry because they cannot control the narrative. And that's what I seen in this bastard's ass here. Okay. So no, he don't get no motherfucking sympathy over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this last thing and I'm going to get off of here. Wendy Black's family has a GoFundMe. I'm going to put the link in the description. If you all could, please donate to Wendy Black's family or whatever. Please. Her GoFundMe account is almost at the goal amount, but we ought to be making it go over the goal amount. That woman lost her life. The system failed her and all. And we ought to not only look, because they're only asking for money to bury her and give her a proper burial, but we need to make sure her babies are okay. All right? Y'all be safe, be alert, be aware.